Whoa, we're live. We're here. Look at us. It's been fucking forever.
Whoa.
It's
How
been
you
2
doing,
weeks.
Ash?
I'm as good as could be right now. I wish I was still on my trip.
That
Look,
makes a lot of
Lunar
sense.
saying it's about time. Blame Steve.
Totally me. 100%. Yeah, I really thought I'd turn that alarm on. Ooh, God. I was supposed to be... Yeah, that was a good 3 hours later than I was supposed to be up. Oi. But yeah,
I'm
it's good
gonna
to see all you.
screenshot how many times I tried to call you before stream.
Yeah.
I'll put that
I'm
in the
sorry about
Discord.
that. The one time both I am asleep and my computer is off, so I don't even like distantly hear it from my headphones, because I remember a good bunch of times when like I'd be called by somebody, but it's like just loud enough coming from those headphones that like my subconscious gets a little tick, a little whiff, and then and I'm like, no, it's spray across the room.
Ugh. But yes, now we're actually starting. The stream can
Yes.
begin. So I mean, first thing, obviously, I gotta talk about my trip. Let me pull up my Notion notes.
Of course.
So, for anybody that didn't know why we were gone for 2 weeks, I visited my girlfriend up in Illinois, which was an interesting experience, to say the least. Let me try to get my Notion in a new window. How do I do that? There we go. I'm still learning Vivaldi. I haven't had time to actually play with Vivaldi since we talked about it last time.
I have only loved it more.
I do enjoy it, but not to get sidetracked immediately.
Yeah,
So
yeah, please. Yeah.
I flew to the Chicago airport. That airport's too big. Too much walking there. Sucks. But so the last 2 weeks have been maybe the best of my life. It was
I'm not that surprised.
an amazing time. I loved every second of being there. Hi, Liz.
Yo,
That's the
Liz!
one I went for. I mean, I think it's safe to say, for a variety of reasons, I found like the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. Which sounds crazy to say after just 2 weeks, but I've known her for fucking nearly 8 years, around 8 years. So I feel pretty safe in saying that we're gonna be there for the long haul. Yeah, I am gonna make you cry again.
This is the cry episode, bitch.
Yeah. But yes, so visited Liz. The first thing of note is their water was terrible. The tap water there fucking sucks. As far as I understand,
Michigan.
yeah, you're thinking of Flint. From what I understand, they're gonna fix it, but it won't be my problem, because we while I was there, it's kind of like getting into the ending of them buying a house in a different city, and so when I move in April, so no episode April 9th, I think would be the day. No episode again then, because I will be halfway across America to Illinois.
But then
I'll
episodes
probably be
every
like right on
single
the
week
other side of the
until
mountain until I
that
die.
episode's every single week until 27th. I mean, until 2030, 27.
Yeah, we got to make up for lost time.
Right.
But so yes, I'm moving in the house. I went during the inspection for the house. Absolutely love that weird little maze of a house. It's crazy. Won't talk too much about that on the internet, but
Right.
like the house.
Show us the floor plan.
No, I don't think I will. Well, let's see. Other than just like being there with my favorite person, there is no floor plan. Yeah, we will have to eventually make one properly with measurements, because we have like a vague one, but
I start to wonder if
Other
there's a floor plan app these days. Like, you know, where it's like, oh, you take the measurements and it arranges it for you. I'm sure there's something like that.
um but yeah, so other than just like getting there and being with this amazing person that I love very much, um I'll stick to the things that were happening inside of the house. um Liz, you treated your computer so poorly for how much you spent
Oh
on
no.
it, and you are getting shamed.
No. What happened?
So for context, Liz spent an inordinate amount of money on a computer. It had, I believe it was a 4070 graphics card, a really nice Intel CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, bunch of storage. It's a really nice PC, and just shoved it in a fucking drawer for it to kill itself by cooking itself alive.
Yeah.
That was the
What
big
the
issue
fuck?
with that computer. It is now on top of the desk. I have rectified this.
Wait.
Hi, B.
You could see B. I am curious though, because this is very important. Because like, okay, I could see me making this kind of mistake under certain conditions. Hold on. So, Liz, did you know that was that was like not the right way to do it, or was it just like you didn't think you had a better idea for it? Like what? Like what?
From what I gathered,
I'm
we just didn't know how bad it was. We just
Yeah.
kind of
Also,
assumed it was supposed to be really hot because it was powerful PC. This is
Right, yeah,
deserved
I
and
would-
so funny. I fully accept my role in neglecting the computer. But I will not let it happen again.
Wait, hold on. Am I getting the
No,
wrong person? Wait.
So Owl is another person living in the same space.
That was my second guess. Okay, because
Yes.
I'm like,
I don't know
swear to
how
God
much
it was Liz in
Owl
chat.
wants to
Yeah,
say, but
sure. But yeah,
I will let them make that
I'm curious.
decision.
You said that the computer was cooking itself alive. Was there also like a sarcophagus amount of dust rolling around in there?
It was surprisingly little dust for how it, not necessarily surprising. I expected more dust, but then when I thought about it, of course dust didn't get in there because air didn't get in there.
Sure, but like desks can get pretty dusty depending on how much you take care of them.
Liz shifting the blame. So the big issue is that there wasn't really circulation. It was just in a little cabinet that they opened while using the computer because they knew it was bad. Like they did kind of know. But
If my computer was alive and I wanted to interrogate it, I would put it in a drawer while I run games on it.
but so like a few days into, maybe like a week into being there, I just like opened it up. I bought a new mouse for the computer.
Mhm.
And because this is another issue, their peripherals were in a state, are still kind of in a state, but we'll get to that. But okay. I was reaching in to kind of like move the computer so I could try to like plug it into the back. It is a computer shaped hole. It fits perfectly, which is terrible.
Wait, what shape of computer this is? Because I'm like,
It's a
I
big
rarely know of
square
a desktop
computer.
shaped. What?
It's a big square computer and it's a square cabinet. It's like a thin square cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Because like I'm thinking of like a desktop like semi-tower PC in like a fucking restaurant's fucking deep drawers somewhere. Yeah.
No, this is a pretty big PC case, and it's on the smaller end of cabinets. It's a desk cabinet, so it's not huge. It's shaped like a desktop tower. It fits perfectly, yes. Which is
I just
the
can't
problem.
remember the last time. I can't remember the last time I saw a drawer, even in a desk that like.
Well, it's
that I
more
would
like a
think,
cabinet
yeah.
than a drawer. It doesn't like slide
Okay.
out. It's just a
Oh,
cabinet.
much more sense.
Um,
So you went like you opened a door to get to that shit.
Yeah, you open the door, so you leave the door open when you're using the computer.
That's less sense.
Yeah. And so you open it up so that there's airflow. Otherwise, you cook it even worse. But like, I bought a new mouse. I got home and opened it up, reached around, and I touched the side of the computer case while reaching around, and it burnt me. And I was like, this has to change. It's so warm.
Like, burnt you? Like, do you mean like
it's
like,
not like I'm actually
hyperbole?
hurt, but it's like my hand was like, oh, that's not a thing we should touch.
Is it like when you have like your arm in like the fucking steam coming out of a pot and you don't realize you're not supposed to do that? I've done that a couple times.
Well, we can pick that apart later. But yeah, I guess kind of. Oh, pictures are now in the Discord. Let's go. Yeah.
Whoa. It's the one thing I forgot to open.
So yeah, that's that cabinet it was in. It basically, like, it fit pretty perfectly. Like, my hand getting through it only had like an inch of room total to get through.
Okay.
Extra than my hand. So it's like,
yeah.
No, because here's the thing. It doesn't exhaust out the back.
Like, I understand. It's just, okay, I'm saying that, like, if I was setting this up, like, I'd want more room, but if someone, like, I could see myself going, like, oh, I could see, within the situation, I could see, like, some computer expert going, yeah, that should be enough. It's not ideal, but you could do that. And me wanting more space anyway, but I could totally see myself going, well, yeah, that, like, computer vent, that could work.
I will say, I completely understand the thought of putting it in there. But, like, if you know computers, it's a 4070 with a really good CPU. It was not running like it. And then I figured out why, because it was cooking stuff. So it intakes from the bottom, and it shoots out the side of the case.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So it was just blowing hot air into the wall that would then either go up or down to be intake again. Just keep going in this horrific cycle. If not PC spot, why PC shape? I mean, it's a good question. I don't think it was designed very well, but it is now on top of the desk. I'm assuming that either not really. I would say it might be meant for something like a PC, but a much less powerful one.
Right.
That isn't going to cook itself alive.
With a 4070, I'm surprised that, like, let's say you had, like, top exhaust, which I'm sure you've experienced that before. I'm thinking that, like, the fucking whatever keyboard or mouse you'd have on the desk above it would have some noticeable melt marks, like, from keeping it in a space like this. Oh, yeah, God.
So yeah, that's where it lived, and it was way too warm. It was slowing down the computer. It was a really bad. My old computer had a vent on the side, and I cut a hole in the desk to allow room for it. So the thing that I didn't want to do with cutting a hole into it, because that was also suggested by Owl, is that's where your feet go. Like, it's almost summer. You're not gonna want all of that heat hitting your legs all the time.
Also, it might be structural.
Nah, but maybe.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about that as much. Warm toesies, sure. Yeah, sure. But it was bottlenecking the computer because it was thermal throttling it. And so literally I pulled it out and loaded it up. Inside of that cubby, it's the loudest computer ever imaginable. It is horrifically loud. On top of the desk, it's silent as anything. It's really nice.
Oh, wow. You couldn't even run Vivaldi on this shit.
It was struggling. The other reason that this computer struggles is because they did not get good peripherals. And it's crazy that you have a 4070 in there and have a monitor that is not even 720p, it's 736p. What the fuck even is that?
What the fuck? Did you get it in 2007?
Got it from a Spirit Halloween.
Like, I could, okay, I'm gonna say this. I could see I can totally see and justify happily. Get the monitor was $9.
I told you it's from Spirit Halloween when they were closing. It's not a bad
like,
value for what it is, but
I
why
thought
would you
were
spend
joking.
$1,000 on a 4090 and
Yeah,
$9 on the monitor?
I want to say, if I was gonna do that for a bit, that is a really fucking good bit, Liz. But I want to say it. Okay, there are like certain peripherals that I don't tend to see people acknowledge as a you could cheap out here and a lot of people won't notice the difference. Like, for instance, a mouse and keyboard, I understand people have their reasons for being picky depending on what level of hobby they have. Like, I'm the kind of person where even if I was gonna play a lot of these games, it's like you could give me the kind of like cheap bullshit like tries to look more expensive than it is lit up mouse and keyboard package at your nearby computer store. You know, you could probably give me that and I'd be fine. But monitors, you don't fucking do that with. But I respect it. I see the value you're getting, and if it worked for you, sure. It's funny as shit. And it is, I would then consider the graphics card a waste of money at that point if you are happy with that cheaper monitor. Yeah.
B saying we listen and we don't judge. I listen and I definitely judge.
That is our whole job on this podcast.
Look, when I move in, you're getting one of my monitors and you're going to see the light. Literally, I came home and I got on the computer and it felt like I was looking into a different universe after using that computer.
Like, don't give the 4K one though, because like you've always said like, oh, I can't go back.
I don't currently have a 4K monitor, so.
Okay.
Literally, though, if I did have a 4K monitor, it would be attached to the 4070. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, but yeah, I totally see using a TV as a monitor, though.
Absolutely. It's not the best that I mean, you're paying $2,000 for this fucking computer, and you might as well get a decent monitor. But
what is the difference using a TV as a monitor? I'm curious. You would know that better than I.
So monitors are more specifically tuned for input as opposed to just displaying images. So like it feels better to use a monitor because it's probably going to be a little bit more responsive. I don't necessarily want to talk on like color accuracy because man, that's a whole different thing. But it's mainly the input on it. You're not going to see like many 100+ hertz TVs, whereas you're going to get that in monitors a lot, just because it feels better to use a monitor that's higher refresh rate.
I'm happy
that's
that I'm
my
not going to
biggest difference.
I'm not a 100+ hertz kind of person. Yeah.
You'll notice if you use it for a decent amount of time and then go back, especially if you're using it for input, because the moment you move your mouse on a higher refresh rate monitor, if you're used to just 60 or even 30, you're gonna feel the difference.
Okay, this is another one of those like rare cases where you're completely selling me on like maybe I don't need to upgrade past where I currently am if I'm going to look back here and feel like I'm back in child's play. It's like if I'm happy here now, and like what kind of value would that have? But like to what degree? Like what would I get out of it?
Much better just to mouse around on a higher refresh rate monitor.
I think that this is one of those cases where the quality of life leap is bigger for you than it is for me.
I can sell it. I can sell it right here, right now. It will make you better at one finger death punch.
That's not mouse movement most of the time.
No, like, it's refresh rate of it. Because you're going to have more information more often with a higher refresh rate, so you can react quicker.
So you're telling me if I had like 140 something, like, or 100 refresh rate, let's say 100 hertz refresh rate monitor, then I would be noticeably better at one finger death punch too.
You would have the ability to be better. because you will have more information more frequently.
It's the exact same score, but no, now it's just a skill issue. I,
Yeah. Then
I,
you just
I,
got to get
I
better at
will.
the fucking game. Sorry, I can't do that for you.
I want to say this. I want to say this is that like I 100% believe you on paper, but you need the gamer for that, and I have never proclaimed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you find a cheap, high refresh rate monitor, you should go ahead and get it like in the $100 range, 100, a little under. Especially if you're like secondhand getting it, because that's what my two monitors are. 165 hertz. I got both of them for a total of $200. Best investment I made in a while. But yeah, it's like certain racing games that are really quick I can't do on low refresh rate, because it's just you don't have enough time to react to some of these games. And One Finger Death Punch is definitely one of those kinds of games where like the more information you have sooner, the better you're going to be able to like, play.
Once you get to like 3,000 to 7,000 enemies in like survival mode, it's like, yeah, that you're like, you start to get closer to the point where it's like, is it your humanness or is it your technology that is holding you back from a higher score? I'm gonna say, I know you could just get this from a sticker decal, but you put that picture in there, Liz, and I'm getting jealous of like you seeing that at the bottom of your monitor. But yeah, this is one of the best like I thought you were joking moments that I think I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that monitor is something else. It's not a monitor, it's a TV.
And it's beautiful, is what it is.
But yes, let me move on. What other? Oh, so other notes about the computer. So their mouse was terrible. That's whatever. They didn't have a different mouse. It was fine. I got them a new mouse. And their keyboard was fine. It was a membrane, not my favorite kind of keyboard, but it was fine. And then I remember Liz saying, oh, they got a keyboard with the computer and then they bought another keyboard. And I'm like, there's no way this is the one they bought on top of the computer. Where is the other one? And there's just a really nice RGB mechanical keyboard that's been sitting above them for however long, for a year and a year and a half or whatever from when you've bought this computer. 2 years.
But the Spirit Halloween TV stays.
But it's just, they've had a mechanical keyboard that they just weren't using, and it feels a lot nicer. It looks a lot nicer. One of their other partners was like, when did we get a mechanical keyboard? And I had to be like, you've had it for 2 years. It was in the closet until you cleaned that out, to be fair. Okay, the closet right behind the computer. Anyway. But yeah, I have made their computer situation a lot nicer. It will continue to get nicer when I move in. So yeah, other things that happened during the trip that isn't, this is going to be praise now. We're working on praise.
Yeah, we got to end on a good note here.
So I only brought a backpack. I didn't want to get a checked bag. Actually, materially and emotionally and in all ways improving life. Aww.
The heart of the podcast.
But so I didn't bring a lot of stuff. I only brought a backpack. I didn't want to pay for a checked bag. And I was like, well, I'll just buy, a little bit of extra clothes when I'm there, and just leave them behind, because even before I went, I kind of knew I was going to move in. So it's like, I'll be back for it. And so we went to the store. I got a couple pairs of pants. They didn't have like my size very well. And so they were a little long, and Liz had the idea. It was like, oh, well, we're just going to roll them up. And she stitched on a little galaxy pattern onto the end. Let me see if I can grab a picture and put it in the Discord. But it looks fucking amazing, and it makes me really sad that I'm not wearing these pants like all the time because it looks so good. Let me pull it up.
I thought I received a message from somebody else, and I thought you sent it personally to me while I'm in the Thought Bubble channel.
It is uploading from my phone now. There we go.
Mm.
Oh, and Liz also.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Yeah, that is perfect. What is the song again?
What?
Like, what am I looking at again? Like, what's the whole
the
thing?
end of my pants. So my pants were a little long, so they're the inside at the bottom of my pants. So I roll it up, so it just they're little cuffs, essentially.
I don't know why, but this feels extra gay.
It is.
Yeah.
But Liz did an amazing job of that. I'm very happy with them. Thank you. Another bit of praise. So I've dyed my hair finally after putting my Sona back to being brown haired. My hair, it is a red into purple gradient.
Okay.
And it is.
So you're like fiery.
You're saying this like you haven't seen it. I've sent you a picture.
I remember the picture. The colors is what I don't remember very well. I'm gonna scroll back to that.
I'll post it into. Y'all will be seeing the back of my head.
Also, my brain is still calibrating. I sound like that one fucking text-to-speech voice from like fucking 2012.
So in the Discord again, there's another picture of my
Right,
hair
Lava
now.
Girl.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna forget that. Yeah.
It was very funny. Liz hyped up how much the bleach was gonna burn on my hair because we had to bleach my hair before coloring it. And it didn't really burn. It was like fine. So I'm saying anyone that bleaches their hair and cries about it, you're a pussy. Anyway, but that's amazing. Gosh, there was another pair of pants. So it's not as big of a change, but like changed all the buttons on it, so it looks a little bit nicer because the buttons that it came with kind of sucked. You did use nice bleach, Liz. But it's funnier for me to tell everyone that I'm better than them. So B, are you even in my fucking Discord? I don't think B is even in here. I'm creating an invite.
Well, I know B was in like a little second ago.
B's in the chat, but not in the Discord.
Oh,
avoiding me.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see the DVD bonus features of the Thought Bubble without being the fucking Ashleyverse server.
Yeah. You just gotta give us $25 on Patreon.
God, I have a bone to pick with that. I understand YouTubers doing that. I understand creators, like, it's a fully, like, you have every right, and I totally understand the reason, but I kind of think it goes against the idea of having a Discord in the first place. But I think that's just my view of it.
I get it
having,
for
like,
moderation reasons.
Yeah, like, it's totally understandable, and that's the reason why. But it's also like, I don't know. Like, it to me, that doesn't feel like as much of a people pop in and out, and like that's the beauty of a Discord server kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's the beauty of a smaller Discord server. At the point where you're like having a big Discord server without a Patreon wall. But you see, you're just a little guy. You still have not joined. Or are you in here and I'm just blind? I don't know. I don't think you're in my Discord.
Have you even tried searching?
There's like 10 people in this fucking server. I think I could just look.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay,
you're at work. You're at work and you're listening to me talk about Liz's PC.
I mean, listening to something is different. It depends on the line of work. But I want to say, that I
like being able to distract people from work.
with the activity tab in the fucking in the user list, it then pushes down the user list just far enough that I do have to scroll to see the bottom, and so I thought it was long.
No, there's like nobody in this because I only make this
Yeah.
show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Hopefully I'll get
Mm-hmm.
back to the comic book one, but that's a different topic. I keep getting on other things and I need to be on my notes.
Sure.
So that's most of what happened like within the house. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm missing. I am ADHD. I think that's it. So during the trip we went to a lot of different places, a lot of local stores, which I loved. The first one that will always come to mind is Rock Soul Love, because it is a place with a couple of what seems like very good friends of Liz. I don't know how long y'all have known each other, but y'all seem to get along extremely well. It's a little kind of crystal rock kind of spiritual kind of store, which I'm
Ooh.
sure, as most people who know me know, that isn't my vibe. Super
I think it's
I
just
almost
pretty.
bought one that there was a rock that looked like a pencil and I almost bought it, but and yeah, I mean, I do like rocks. I think it's a little hippy dippy when they're like, this promotes calming, pleasant sensations, and I'm
Sure.
like, it's blue. But
I'm
it's
just the you could say whatever the fuck you want about it, sure. I just want pretty rock. I like pretty rock. You give me pretty rock. Yeah.
yeah, I will take the rock. I won't take the hippy dippy bullshit along with it.
Just like you actively shut them up and I just wait through a loading screen. Yeah.
But I love those two people in there. There was a kind of curiosity knickknack kind of shop called the Painted Wraith, I think. I'm pretty sure Liz can correct me if I'm wrong. It's more of this kind of spooky, kind of Halloweeny kind of vibe. Yeah, that's the name. Okay. I liked a lot of the stuff in there. I wish we went back before I left, but I mean, I'm gonna be back in a month, so I'll just go then. Um, let's see, there was a little local bookstore called Bob's Bay. I loved it. They had these blind dates with a book section where it's a book wrapped up so you can't see what it is, with a little card written that tells you kind of like the general vibe, the genre, what you're going to find in this book, to see if you might like it. And I got one. I don't remember what the book is, and it's on the other side of the room, so that'll be an update for next time. Let's see what else. So they have a chain of gas station convenience stores called Casey's. Pretty good. I when thinking about comparing gas stations, I always think about the hot food that they have.
Sure.
And I think their hot food, specifically like their popcorn chicken, was really good. I really like their popcorn chicken. And also they make pizzas there as well. The normal ones, your pepperoni, your cheeses, but breakfast pizza as well, which I had not heard of before coming up to Illinois.
That's
But
just
apparently
regular
it's just
pizza.
breakfast pizza is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Liz, it's cheese sauce, egg, a layer of cheese, and then whatever breakfast like toppings you want. They have some pre-made with sausage and bacon, but I presume you
wanna
could order
say-
different things on it if you like actually order.
I want to say that like that sounds good for like a breakfast themed pizza, but I like in terms of like what pizza you would label as a breakfast pizza, I have always been and always will be in the camp of, oh, you just take a pizza and cold. And then, and then that's my
I
breakfast pizza.
cannot stand cold pizza.
It is. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I was indoctrinated by Christine Lavin, but that
It's
shit is
because
the
you're
nectar
a
of God.
northerner. Y'all freaks
It's
just
because
like
it's
cold shit.
shit. Eat my ass. Cold
Fucking
pizza
Liz
is
gets
beautiful.
fucking chilled drinks at the coffee shop when it's fucking
Why
freezing
not?
outside, and getting fucking ice cream and smoothies when it's below freezing outside. I'm like, I don't know. I'd like a hot thing when it's cold.
Like, okay, I will say when it's cold out, I will take a cold drink that is not too cold with a hot thing to eat. That's
That's
my
fair, but we
usual
were
fucking
only
thing.
getting
Also,
drinks.
that's fair, but also I like that for once I'm not the weird one in the planet.
Oh no, don't worry. You're all weird. I don't think you
Says
get
the weird
to
one.
be in this show without being weird, except for me. I'm normal.
Right, of course. But that you only cast weird people beside you. That's the only reason I got to be here. No, but no, in terms
Liz,
of like,
shut
okay,
up about never finish my hot chocolate. They have big cups. Fuck you.
also, wait. So I want to say, in terms of the function of breakfast, I have covered my cold pizza of fascination. Which, by the way, I do want to very legitimately plug Christian Lavin's cold pizza for breakfast. For anyone who hasn't heard of her music, I grew up on it. It is still cool. It is still funny and still beautiful. She does a lot of shit. Anyway, or at least did. I think she might have slowed down. Anyway. But in terms of a breakfast, like a traditional breakfast themed pizza, I think that that's a gorgeous idea. Never had it. I would leap at the chance. That sounds delicious.
It was really good. I do, and I plan
Yeah.
to get more when I go back. I
Yeah.
kind of wish I could have ordered one this morning, because it's like I could just eat an entire one right now, because I was very hungry once I got hungry. I guess I say this morning. It was like an hour and a half ago. But
Also, I would look at this pizza and I would not know that this is a breakfast. I would just assume that this is a weirdly colored normal pizza. Like it for those in the Discord, it does not look substantially different. It's like I would if it was like a normal pizza, I'd expect of course the little peaks of sauce coming out, and instead of that you just get a brighter yellow, which then I guess I would assume it's just like a bit of oiliness that's peeking out,
Yeah.
which I'm like, sure, I'll try it.
it does
You
just
know.
look like a normal pizza, unless you know that that's scrambled eggs.
Fucking fire. That sounds awesome. Yeah.
And stay here for the pizza, just the pizza. Oh yeah, definitely no other reason to be in Illinois than the pizza.
Would you have a breakfast pizza for dinner?
That's a good question. I don't think I would all the time. Maybe like once in a blue moon. I would
Sure.
rather save that for the next morning and have it.
Yeah. A cold
Not
pizza for
that it
cold
feels
bre-
wrong to do it in the evening. I would just rather have it in the morning.
I think it's a really charming and funny idea to reverse the time dynamic of pizza versus cold, like traditional pizza at night versus traditional cold pizza in the morning. So it's like breakfast pizza is warm in the morning and then you consume it cold for dinner or dessert because it's cold. I think dessert
Not every
matches
cold
better as a
thing
cold one.
is a dessert.
I'm not saying every cold thing is a dessert. I'm just saying that, like, I think cold fits better as a dessert thing than a dinner thing.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm taking out some of my notes so I don't retread over them.
Wait, cold breakfast pizza doesn't taste great. We have found an exception. Okay.
Yeah, like
all
most
right.
pizza.
No, I'm sorry. You're not. You're not on this one. You're falling off a little bit.
One thing I will stand that I have every right. Oh yeah, cold scrambled eggs aren't great. But yours aren't great anyway because you don't fucking salt them. Anyway, we're not gonna stay on that. We're moving on.
It's eggs.
Anyway.
It's eggs.
Anyway. So another thing, I've never had Culver's for anybody that doesn't know Culver's, it's just another fast food burger kind of chain. I think their kind of gimmick is like ice cream. They have some decent ice cream and things.
Okay.
I just got a burger because I keep hearing Culver's is really good burgers. I've never had it, and I was like, well, let's fucking go. I'm the burger czar, and so I get to choose if this is a good burger or not. And I am very happy to say Culver's is maybe the best fast food burger I've ever had.
Oh,
Custard,
wow.
technically
Wow.
not ice cream.
Wow.
Okay, it's custard. Culver's is the best fast food burger I've had.
Did you mention you're a burger person? Because like I don't know
Yeah.
anybody else in my life as a burger person, like more than you. Which sorry, hold on, makes it
is
sound like I'm
because
calling you fat.
It is the only fast food burger that they did the smash properly on, or even attempted it. A
Oh.
lot of fast food places don't even attempt it. They just give you slightly thick patties. Like second place is Wendy's. I love Wendy's. Their burgers are amazing, but too thick. Culver's is amazing and is a proper smash burger.
Is it crispy?
Yes.
Wonderful.
The one that
I
I
still
had
prefer
was
a fat
very
burger.
good. That's because your dick's small. Anyway,
It's a growing
Uh,
out of shore.
I'm sure. Anyway,
I could hear that little breath. Don't you think?
so another place we ended up going, we had a fancy date night, me and Liz, where we went to Epiphany Farms restaurant. And so this is a restaurant where they have a specific farm. Either the farm owns them or they own the farm, whatever. They own each other. They're a very good couple. And so like they are supplied directly from a farm in the area. How did we get here?
You
But
tell me.
it was very nice restaurant. It looked amazing. The decor was amazing. A lot of the food was good. Sadly, I ordered a New York strip, and it was like 30% like hard fat and cartilage,
Oh.
which fucking sucks. But the parts that weren't, it was an amazing steak. It tasted fucking phenomenal. If only I had a full one.
Okay.
Liz ended up ordering the lamb shank, and that was really good. And I mean, all of the sides and things were good. I got a side of fries and like a vegetable medley. And with the lamb shank, it came with couscous and a couple other things. I mean, that wasn't my plate. I don't remember it. Liz, you can say if you remember.
Couscous. Right.
But it was a good time. I did say it was fancy, so it hurt my wallet a little bit. But it was fine. It was a good experience. But a better eating experience was Fort Jesse Cafe. In Normal is the city, which is an amazing thing. You have a city named Normal.
That is never going to lose me on its charm.
It's very funny. The farm owns the restaurant. Thank you. Fort Jesse Cafe is just a little cafe. We went there for breakfast a few days ago, and they had a special that was a chicken breast sandwich. Where it's so the construction of it is bun, layer of hash browns, the chicken patty itself, eggs, cheese, and bacon, and it was so fucking good.
Ooh.
I was so I was tempted to buy a second one. It was really good. Their fries were amazing as well. Liz got the chocolate pancakes, I believe strawberry chocolate, right?
Wait, sorry. Is this chocolate in as the or chip? Like, what are we?
Full chocolate.
Ooh.
It was really good too.
Yeah. Chocolate cake for breakfast.
And absolutely an amazing experience. I cannot wait to go there again during the move, right after the move. Oh yes, please make a sandwich like that. That'd be great. Let's see. I only have a couple things left on my list to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is coming from the south and its terrain, a very hilly, mountainous. Very weird to go to somewhere where it's just fucking flat. It was almost unnervingly flat terrain. And it was very strange to me to be able to just look out and just actually see the horizon and it not be blocked by a hill.
Gmod vibes.
Exactly. It feels off. It's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to fucking live with now. It was crazy. So coming back to North Carolina, where I am now, even just the roads feel different because they're built on top of curves. And so like every ride just about in Illinois was just like a really flat ride. There wasn't a lot of like, other than the roads being kind of shit, there wasn't a lot of moving around during it, left and right. But coming here, it's just like, oh, you're kind of like at a 30-degree angle on some of these roads. And it feels so different. I love the hills. I'm gonna miss them dearly when I move. So that just means I'm gonna have to visit a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts?
I'm very, I don't have much specific commentary. I'm so supportive of you, and I'm so happy that you got to have this experience, and it sounds bewildering and in the best way, and I'm glad that you're getting to have this little shimmer. Yeah. Big shimmer.
Yes, Liz, you are going to have to drive a moving truck on these roads. It will probably be a little scary at times. Especially because we're having to cross the mountains. So we're going to have to go through some pretty crazy roads at times, I'm sure.
Just like one of these episodes, we're just like... And Thought Bubble Gang, you might notice that we got one less chatter in chat. May she rest in hair dye.
Last thing I want to talk about during my trip. So for anybody somehow unaware, I'm polyamorous and Liz is as well, and there is a polycule attached. I won't go into any deeper details about anybody, but in practicing safe and consensual polyamory, STD checks are a thing that happens. And for anybody that is maybe a little bit afraid of having an STD check or whatever, hasn't done it before, this was my first time doing it when I visited. One, the person at the health department was amazing. Fucking love her. Shout outs Erin. But the process of getting the full panel is not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because they have to draw a decent amount of blood.
Oh.
And for me, they went into my hand right around my second knuckle. And because like my veins are really hard to see in my arm, but they're clear as day on my hand. Oh. And so they went in, the needle was in there for maybe like 45 seconds to a minute at most. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't comfortable. Wasn't great. Also, yes, Aaron based as hell for just doing it for me. But that was fine. There's also a pee sample that you give. That's whatever. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I wanted to share that for anybody who maybe wants to get one but is kind of scared of the process. It's not bad.
I've always been more scared of the okay, it's not that I'm like scared of like how I think people will react, but like, you know, that thing when like you walk into a situation where you know you're gonna have to deal with other people who may or may not actually be relevant to what you're doing there, that it's like this is an unfamiliar thing, it's a touchy subject, and so it's just there's this vague abstract anxiety you have around it where you can't point to anything specifically you'd have a problem with, but like just the whole thing as an umbrella of that. Like even the physical pain, as someone who fucking hates needles like me, it's like I think that would be the least of the things I'm anxious about, but I'm glad that you're breaking it down the way you are, and then how like
Yeah.
breezy it sounds essentially. Yeah.
You have a higher risk profile, you can opt for swabs. Yeah, you can just. There is also like an additional swab test. Like one of the things Erin explains very well, and I like her wording on it, so I'm going to use it. Is the infections live like where the sex happens, so you might want a mouth swab if you've done a lot of oral, to make sure that like you're catching everything in there. So there's a lot of different ways to go about learning about these things, doing these tests. And if you have a good like health department person there, or wherever you're going, if you have a decent person doing it, they're going to make you feel extremely comfortable, completely no shame. Erin's absolutely fantastic about it. It's sad that when we move, we're not going to be in that district, so we're not going to be just able to go to Erin. But
Aww.
I love Erin. Yeah. But so I think that's most of what I want to talk about the trip. I'm sure as time goes on, I'm going to remember more and more things, and we'll talk about it over the next couple of weeks.
That's just so sweet.
Yeah,
I love it so
I'm
much.
very happy. I wish I was still up there. I wish I just like brought all my things the first time, but that wasn't really feasible.
Yeah, especially like anybody going to a place for the I want to say, and this is like, this then becomes relevant to just a galactically different topic, but like I think it's like, okay, the dangers of going to a new place you're not familiar with and having to build something is like when people do that, for any reasons they do. Yes, it can be frustrating, and yes, it can be scary, and all the things that come with that. But also fucking having to upend your whole life in that way. I know I'm veering off into like topics that we do not have enough time to give the justice, but it's like, yeah, it's a lot. And I respect both somebody who deals with the fact that they can't do that, and also somebody who can do that first little visit like you did first and actually takes that opportunity and thinks it through. Yeah.
Yeah. But other things have happened during the trip. World did still continue going.
What?
So one thing I want to talk about very quickly that's kind of related to the trip. I'm not a big calendar user. I don't plan things out far in advance usually, but obviously I have a move in a month. I got to do some planning.
Right.
And I wanted an interface that looked good, had the information I wanted readily available, which the Calendars app on iPhone doesn't. It's not a bad app, it just doesn't have what I want. It also needs to have a good widget for my phone and my iPad so that it can be on my home screen. And the Calendar app also does not have that great. But the app I've landed on for right now is an app called Fantastical. I'm not sure if it's on Android. Let me look it up real quick. Fantastic.
I'm gonna see if the Vivaldi mobile app has the same calendar function that the browser has, just to make sure. Because I also don't use a calendar very much.
Let's see. So it looks like it might be the Apple ecosystem and then Windows, which is all I need it for.
I see.
For right now, I think the Windows app is actually relatively new, so who knows what they might be trying to do for Android in the future. But I absolutely love this app. I love the design of it. And it's also easily syncs your other calendars onto it. So it's not necessarily a calendar app in and of itself. It kind of needs another calendar to bounce off of.
Okay.
So right now I have, I'm actually about to remove my Apple calendars from it, but I have my Apple Calendar and a Google Calendar synced to it, and whatever I put into Fantastical syncs to those two.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
then that kind of makes it easier to work with everybody else, because like every calendar app is going to work with a Google integration as well. So when I do get put into like the calendar system for the house in general of like what are people doing at certain times, it'll be easy to just attach it to the Google, and then everything will populate in Fantastical, and everything I put in Fantastical will populate onto their Google, whatever they do. Absolutely love the app. The widget and the app itself, what I find it most useful on the widget, it shows the weather for the day. So it'll show you like if it's going to rain and the temperature, the high and low. Absolutely love it. I'm getting rid of the weather app that I've been using in lieu of this. It's a calendar interface, yes. But I used to use Weather Up. I don't know if that is on Android or if that's just an iOS thing. I have it on iOS. It's a really good weather app. I highly suggest it for somebody who wants a dedicated weather app. I just don't think I'm going to need it.
I'm looking it up now for Android just to make sure. My phone's not the most updated, but we're gonna
see weather
see.
Up.
I don't.
It looks like it's on just the App Store.
Yeah. Well, color me fucked. Okay.
Not that I ever kind of said that like the nice basic kind of apps are all iOS, which kind of sucks. Like I wish more people had access to Fantastical and Weather Up and some of the time tracking stuff and task aggregators. I have a weather and calendar thing built into Niagara Launcher. I don't like Niagara Launcher. Anyway, I mean that's good.
It's gonna.
I like it.
It's gonna. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Weather Up is just nice for a couple different reasons. Of the widget was really good. It'd show you simultaneously like, oh hey, here's the next few hours, and then here's each day's predictions. And you can go in, use the widget for basically navigating the entire app just within the widget of like, oh hey, what's next week, what's the weather at this other location. Just the widget was really good. I like widgets, but I don't really need all of that now. Maybe like I could use it until the move, but once I'm moved, I'm not going to need half of the stuff Weather Up really does for me. All I'm going to need is the temperature and if it's going to rain or snow. So Fantastical is going to be perfect for that. And one thing I'm going to try to look for, we're going to try to make a like to-do list aggregator for the house to keep track of things that need to be done, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the apps aren't great. A lot of them want subscriptions to be able to do basic things like a recurring task. Hate that shit.
Bullshit.
I think Todoist made me really upset because I think to get reminders, you needed to pay a subscription. And it's like, Todoist, come the fuck on. And it'd be different if it was just like $1 a month or whatever, a couple dollars a month. But it's like, all of them want like above $5 to $10 a month. God. And it's like, fuck that. So I'm going to try to see if everybody is going to be able to use Notion for that, because you have for free task making. I don't know if you can set it as a recurring, but we might not need that as much for the house in general. But you can assign tasks to people, which is a function a lot of to-do apps want to sell you, where Notion just does it for free. The only thing that sucks about Notion is if you use the built-in to-do app, like not app, but like to-do list function in Notion. You can't assign people. It is just the basic take the checkbox, which sucks. So you can't do that. You have to make it a project under like a company, which I just called the company The House. And the project
That's
is
funny.
to do. And so I'm gonna try to see if that'll work for everybody. If not, because I want an easy way for everybody to know what's happening all of the time and not have to like talk to the 7 different people that are going to be in this fucking house individually to figure out what's going on. I kind of want to set up an iPad in one of the communal rooms that anyone can go to and see what's happening at any given time.
Like, yeah, we have for my house, I don't know how I managed to get everybody onto this, but we have a Discord server where like we basically get pings for if somebody has done something and they're recording it, which most of the time people do. And if someone's going, hey, did somebody do this? I forget to record it, and then you get a response. And so it's like, it's a little more communication, but it's just like a quick notification, and then like people who it has nothing to do with, like, could just ignore it, which may or may not work for your house depending on how well how well people work with that.
I'm skeptical about it for one reason and one reason only. Y'all have like a smaller amount of shit happening.
Right. I see. So you guys
at any
have much
given
more.
time. So I'm going to assume, because we have just so many people, that it's going to get filled up pretty quickly and things are going to get lost in a mess of a Discord. So I want like a list that people can add and assign people to, and if they're assigned, you can like, and it's not been done by whatever time you set, or if you set a time at all, you can just like ping them there, or I mean just text them, whatever, it don't matter as long as we're checking in on each other. There will be a Discord for sure. Absolutely, we will want a group Discord for the house. I just don't think necessarily like basic to-do list items should go into a Discord. I feel like there's just too much obfuscation of what's actually happening in a Discord. Whereas in Notion, you can set it as like, oh hey, you're starting it, you're in the middle of it, or you finished it, or like, oh hey, you want to reschedule it to do it a different time. I like those instead of like, oh hey, this needed to be done, and it's like, oh, can we do this later? And it's just like, we can keep track of it a little bit easier in Notion, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Fantastic Cow, Notion's pretty good. And all the other to-do list apps, fuck you for trying to suck us dry.
I want to give a special shout out to one that like my sister recommended this one, and I thought it was beautiful and still do, but it only really works for single person use in the free version, and for reasons I'll say in a second. Actually, right now, so I was getting a burp out. I thought that Tick was a near perfect app until I found out you have a limit of how many entries you can have in the free version. Like there's like a few things that I don't give a shit in the paid version, and it's like whatever. But yeah, it's like I think I got past, I want to say 30 something items in there, and it's like for an individual person with a small amount of things to do, or they know exactly what it is and they could just generalize a few things, it might work very well. Tick. But yeah, it puts a cap on how many things you can have in there. I don't know if that cap factors in with the habits section of the app, because that's a whole different thing. It has a to-do list thing, but then it also has habit tracker for like things you want to do you want to do every single day, whereas it's only an option to have it as every single day for the like to-do list sections of it. If you care about this, it also has a free Pomodoro counter, like timer thing, if you use that kind of thing. Yeah. I think it's a great app. I just think, yeah.
I did look at it as an option, Um, one of the things locked behind the premium is setting a start and end dates to tasks.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if there is like a collaborative function to TickTick. I think it's much more one person.
Yeah.
So I want a system that lets you assign people to a task.
Mm-hmm. I think Sweepy also has what you're looking for, but that might also. Have you never heard of Sweepy?
I'm not seeing Sweepy. Let me see.
Yeah, my other sister likes that one. Yeah, it's I think specifically meant. I think it's specifically meant for what you are intending it for. She did opt for the premium version, but I don't remember how much she paid for it, and secondly, I don't remember what is in free and what is in premium. I think it's like people can assign their own stuff, but you can't assign other people. I could be totally wrong about that, misremembering. It's been a while since we started. Sorry, these two sisters live in entirely different houses. Let me be clear on that, in case that gets very confusing for listeners.
Sweepy prices.
Yeah.
Let's look at prices. God, their website loads like a piece of shit. Yeah, I'll never know the price. Anyway.
Okay.
So Fantastical, great. I want to know about Pixar bootlicking.
Okay, so now this is another thing of me having slept in. I was like, oh yeah, shit, wait, I forgot where I put the fucking article that said it, and I want to like not be vague about it. So I guess I'm gonna look it up now because I wanted to look it up before the show. But I'll describe it as I'm doing this. So I remember finding out recently for Pixar's new series Win or Lose. If anyone wants to beat me to fact checking this, so you know how they are originally intended on having a trans character in one of their productions, even this one? Yeah, and then they didn't do that. So as if that wasn't bad enough, I found out that what they are replacing it with is Pixar's first explicitly stated Christian character.
I did see this.
Yeah, and I want to say, and I know that like it's a common theme for this podcast that we're like, oh fuck corporations, fuck Disney, and I do want to say there's a certain amount of separation in that realm that you could do for Disney corporate versus Disney creative. It's not super clean, but it's worth noting. But I want to say, one, I've always seen Pixar as like a Disney gives them money and gets the fuck out of the way for the most part kind of entity. Because that just feels like their vibe and how it's been the whole time, because that's how Pixar gets the most money for both of them. But it's also that like you guys know that I love animation, and then it's like, and cartoons are like the big thing that I like care about most. Like that and superheroes are right next to each other for me. They are it is a near religious level of like emotional intimacy that I have towards it, and affection. Pixar as a specific company and their productions were the reason in the first place when I was little that I even looked at cartoons as more about, oh, that's just a fun thing. Like, world-class voice acting, especially it's a masterclass in The Incredibles and everything. Like I could go on all day. It's like, Pixar writes the song of my beating heart and always has. And I never thought they got as bad as other people did, especially with Incredibles 2. I liked that.
I will say Steve would probably not like Invincible very much.
Yeah, no.
That
It's
is
like,
not
I
a Steve
understand where
show.
my genre. I understand where my genre walls are. You enjoy that. It is, I've heard it's great and from people I trust. And so I'm just going to say Invincible's awesome. Great. It's not me.
Also, in terms of
Except,
liking animation and superheroes, not together somehow. Don't like those together.
okay, that's a whole other thing we could get into at a different time. There are exceptions and there are plenty of them, but you are technically right. I will want to, okay, I also want to say that just as a quick divergence, that there's a chance that at some point I'll get into Invincible simply because of J.K. Simmons. I love him so much. But I promise I won't enjoy it as much as like if you're an Invincible fan, as much as you do. Anywhere near. It's not going to happen.
It just seems a little violent for you because you're not as into things like that.
It also feels like the context for the violence for me, because I'm fine with violence generally. It's like what it's themed around for me that's the problem with a lot of like darker stuff. But anyway, that's a different thing. It is not extremely surprising, but it is a serious deep cut of a disappointment to me to find that Pixar, for their Win or Lose series, has replaced the trans character they planned with their first outwardly stated Christian character. Because, you know, for those who've been living under a rock when it comes to politics, which I understand if you've needed to hide away from it for a bit, it's like people going like, oh, it's against Christian values for obvious reasons to like to do trans shit, you know, the same bigoted bullshit you've heard time and time again. And it's like, I know you're gonna get frustrated with me doing this, and I'm fine with that, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt potentially that like, oh, they had to do this because Disney put like a fucking knife up about it. Like, sure. But it's also, and maybe the fact that I'm pretty sure this is one of their less successful projects in the first place. So maybe they decided to like tuck it in there, and that could be whatever statement that, you know, whatever you interpret that as. But yeah, this is fucked. Just to say it straight up, it's not okay. This could have been a very beautiful, impactful thing, especially because it's like Pixar's never strayed from being woke. I don't know if you noticed, like literally last year was it they came out with Elemental, and that was a beautiful movie that they, by the way, really under advertised. But yeah, I'm really disappointed, and it hurts a lot, and it's going to influence how I tickets in the future if I don't see like a pretty sharp progressive turnaround. Because Disney, I expect this from you. Pixar, I hoped that I could expect better. Now, I will say CNN is calling it Disney's Win or Lose, and I really thought it was a Pixar thing. I really hope I'm about to be corrected here. If not, this is the same point, but not in the context of Pixar, but still don't let your guard down. I'm going to check absolutely sure to make sure before we finish this topic whether Win or Lose is actually a Pixar, because I really, really, really fucking thought, yes, it is a Pixar production, Disney Pixar. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to express my disappointment and frustration, and yeah, it's not fun. It's not okay, and we need to put more woke shit in our cartoons. It's still bootlicking, Liz. You are 100% right. Under any company, even if DreamWorks did this, you know, which DreamWorks right now only has silly problems like the fucking Shrek teaser, but like it's. Like, I don't give a shit.
Also, I do want to say, not technically the first Christian character, the villain from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No, I don't think they said Disney's first. Did they not?
I thought it said Disney's, but
it might be the first Christian protagonist, because I can't specifically point to another Christian protagonist, because that's what they make it sound like in Win or Lose. Certainly would be Pixar's. And it's like, I want to also clarify to anybody taking this out of context. It's like, if you have an explicitly Christian character, sure, time it right, motherfucker. Like, it's like, include the trans character and the Christian character. And if you're going to take out the trans character, don't put it in this frame. Like, and give a good reason for that, because there's usually not one. And also, is there a good reason for taking out a trans character? I don't know, but like that depends on the story. Anyway, yeah, I'm not okay on it, and that's my whole thing. I
Yeah,
wish I had more to say.
It
I
was
just don't.
definitely going to be a thing I wasn't going to watch anyway. But,
Sure.
I mean, especially not now. I mean, fucking cowards at Disney.
Yeah, and I expect it more from Disney. I'm not surprised by Pixar doing it as well. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, and it hits hard. Because I love Pixar. Bottom of my heart.
All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
that has brought our show to the ending now.
Sorry for the dreariness and we should have reordered the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you all
Support
for coming.
indie
Thank you all for
animation.
hanging out. Yeah, no, okay, wait, before we go, there is, let me find it. Go watch
Lunar.
Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl pilot animatic by, oh no, I don't know how to say his name, Kiana
Yes.
Consmith, probably.
Support
fucking
indie animation.
Amazing little animatic there. Hopefully something will come of it more.
Yeah, and frankly, I'm also it's like I'm very early, like I'm in the very beginning of it, but like I'm also making my own indie animations that are going to come out some fucking time. I'm not going to say soon, but you know,
See,
I got
you're
indie
biased.
animation. I'm extremely biased, yes, but also like yes, please support. I want us to put the link actually in the server for whatever because I forgot the name of the one that you just said. Yeah, because always support indie animation. I will. If it comes from people that you don't know are shit, you know. We love indie animation. That looks really fucking good.
Hold up.
Wow.
Wait, I do that. What? You could do that in Discord?
You can do the fucking.
I just embedded a link into just the text that I was writing, and I knew like that had to have been possible somehow. But I just highlighted the text and hit paste, and it just did it.
That's amazing.
I did not
What?
know this. I'm gonna start using that more now that I know it's that fucking easy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, I knew Markdown works, but it's like I'm not gonna fucking type all that shit. But now that it's literally just you highlight the text you want to have a link attached to and paste a link on top of it. Amazing.
That's amazing. Can you do that with a bunch of space bars, I wonder? Wait, hold on.
Well. Wait.
Give me a second here. So I'm gonna take the stream link for
oh,
us.
no, that's what it does.
That's okay. That's still kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. So after that last little epiphany we just had,
right. That's our glimmer.
That's our show. What would you like to leave the people off with this week?
No sentence that you cut off in the middle of it.